How do you prevent making that same mistake time and time again? You thought it would be different this time. You'd made that statement before, but the same mistake happened. I want to share with you in this episode actually how to overcome, how to grow, how to avoid those same mistakes from resurfacing, and how I learned the lesson through earning a black eye on the BJJ mats in the process. Welcome everyone to Rolling Through Negotiations. This is episode 103 and we're recording this one in October 2025. I'm Matthew Karakalakis. I'm the host of Rolling Through Negotiations. I'm also an accredited mediator, a BJJ black belt, and a commercial and litigation lawyer. I know firsthand what it's like to succeed and achieve amazing outcomes through negotiating, and I haven't always learned this the easy way. There's been some tough moments, but negotiation is one of those skills that we can learn, and no matter how good or bad we are at negotiating, we can always get better. When we get better at negotiating, we can achieve better outcomes for ourselves, for our families, for our communities. Today, what we're speaking about is an important topic, which is all about overcoming the bad habits. You know, those instinctual habits, the things that cause the same mistake to resurface. In this episode, we're talking about how to overcome those through sheer discipline, doing what it takes, putting in the reps to achieve better outcomes, really. Before we jump in, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of these lands. Let's pay our respects to elders, past, present, and emerging. And I'd also like to acknowledge the Kaurna peoples whose lands we're recording this episode from. So let's dive into this, right? I'm going to share with you something that happened on the BJJ mats, but this is not just a BJJ situation. This can happen in all areas of our life. For me, I caught a black eye in the process. Yeah, what happened was I dropped my head instead of keeping my hips up. I used my upper body and my face instead of my hips. The thing is, I knew the technique. I've drilled it plenty of times. What happened under pressure was my instinct kicked in. I defaulted to something that felt easier in the moment. And you know what? I really paid for it. What can happen is when we're tired or we're feeling rushed or when we're under pressure, or even if the stakes are really high, we're just feeling that emotional intensity. Our body and mind, it can start racing. Our bodies, our minds, our patterns of behavior, they can start negotiating, conflicting with each other. And sometimes people can say, you know what, I'm just going to do it the incorrect, instinctual way this time. I'll do it properly next time. There might be a shortcut involved, or you might not have actually drilled it enough yourself so that it fully has become a subconscious behavior. What happens is sometimes we're trying to achieve a result instead of focusing enough on the technical details in the process. And by not focusing on those technical details, it becomes way harder. The right way becomes elusive. We didn't apply enough focus. We didn't apply enough control. We didn't apply enough discipline. And this is exactly where the lesson lives, right? As they say, there is no failure. There is winning and there is learning. And if we're ever in those situations of facing pressure, we need to embrace those, because how we apply skill sets, how we operate, how we negotiate under pressure, this can be authentically where we are that's revealed. If we haven't practiced something enough, if we haven't ingrained enough the actual values of the organization with our members of the board or with our team, that's when the shortcuts can resurface. This is where, when the pressure comes on, we can get unstuck. See, the BJJ mats are honest. The truth is revealed. The truth is revealed in a negotiation outcome too. In the end, people don't really care how good you look or how good you performed if you didn't get the fundamentals right. See, in business negotiations, negotiating with community, negotiating with family, negotiating with your own health, all of these scenarios, it doesn't really matter how many times we know of the right thing to do. If we look for a shortcut in the moment, or if we don't apply the right skill set in the moment, we're going to come short. So, you know, for example, you need to listen more in a negotiation. But what happens if you're sitting there at the boardroom table negotiating on behalf of community, for example, and you get into a real pressure moment? You know you should be listening, but what happens? You get really emotional, you become aggressive in your tone. In fact, you even stop listening. You miss important facts. You miss some of the key details. From there, the negotiation itself can go downhill. Your instincts in those moments might be saying to go faster, assert yourself more, push through. You know deep down you should be listening, but the emotions are making you act in a way where the mistakes happen. What you need to do in these moments is be able to rely on the fact that you've practiced the right approach. You've practiced listening many, many times, thousands of times it may be. Through the discipline of applying the right principle, through the discipline of doing what works, then even in those tough moments, you're going to be doing the right thing. It's the reps, the hours, the time you've put in, doing the right thing time and time again. Perhaps starting off when it's easy, to then continuing that practice. You've developed the practice so that then you're listening, if that is the practice we're speaking about, so that you can do it even when the moments become slightly tense, very tense, extremely tense. Once you've practiced the right skill set under many, many different scenarios, that's where the practice of the skill set can become true behavior when the pressure is on. As they say, pressure makes diamonds. So if you can prepare yourself through the process, when that pressure is on, you are going to behave, act in the right appropriate way. And so whether you're a grappler, an athlete, a lawyer, an entrepreneur, a parent, a member of community, this means you've got to pay attention to your patterns. Notice if you ever slip into the, oh yeah, I'll just take a shortcut this once kind of thinking, or the emotions are getting too high. Notice when that blood starts rushing, your head starts moving fast, your breath is not in the right pattern. You're not breathing from your stomach, but instead you're letting your emotions overwhelm you. It's in these moments that often what you need to do is pause, catch yourself, take responsibility, and really focus on doing the right things in those moments. I mean, I'm not perfect. Nobody is perfect, right? The black eye that I was speaking about, it was a humbling moment. That came from the imperfect application, the mistake, right? But it also gives clarity. When you get a bang on the head that causes a black eye, when you get an outcome in a negotiation that wasn't really what you're looking for, this shows us the gap between knowing something truly and when you know it truly, you can do it when it counts. Or are you still in the process of practicing that skill to make it a real attribute? You need to be able to practice continually because remember, perfect practice makes perfect. Making sure that we're practicing the right thing. If we practice the wrong thing, the saying if practice makes perfect will actually not hold up, because if we practice the wrong thing, that only creates the wrong behavior. We need to remember to apply the right technique over instinct. We need to remember to apply discipline over being comfort. I'm going to wrap it up here, but before I go, next time you're out there training your negotiation skills, practicing BJJ, you're in a meeting, or you're just facing a family moment where you really don't want your old habits to creep in, pause, take a moment, breathe, right? And ask yourself, are you communicating? Are you moving with the right skill set that you want to be mastering right now? Or are you subconsciously letting your emotions take over and are you slipping into an easy way out? Sometimes just that 1 second of awareness could be all it needs so that you can be leveling up and achieving the right outcome. Or if you don't take control in those moments, you could end up getting your very own metaphorical black eye. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for rolling through this one with me. I hope it resonated with you. Stay sharp, stay disciplined, keep showing up, doing the right things. Peace and love. Us.